was quick. Did you say, and we're back?
Yeah. I experimented because usually I go, and we're back, and I hang on to the A, but I hit the K sound really hard, like, and we're back, and I try to hold that.
Comedy K.
Comedy K's. Finally learning.
Yeah.
What's
How
up?
you doing?
Oh, I'm full. I've been eating like crazy. We went to my parents' house and see. You got the Ben and
I
Jerry's.
just held up my Ben and Jerry's that I just polished off before we started.
Solidarity. You know the thing about like ice cream, like Ben and Jerry's or whatever, any kind of ice cream. I'm like you, where like I eat it at the end of the absolute end of the day. Like,
yeah.
Usually it's if I'm gonna have like a pint of ice cream. Even this goes back to like my single days, like in LA when we would get ice cream at the end of the night or whatever. It'd be like the last thing you do. You eat like the thing of ice cream while you're watching TV, and then you go to bed. That has to be the worst way.
Yeah, it's
for your
extremely
body
unhealthy. Yeah.
to consume. Like if anything, you should eat it like at like midday, like at 1:00, right? When you still have time to like metabolize it or whatever.
I mean, it would probably be healthier to eat a bowl of ice cream for breakfast.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Before you lay down and don't move for 7 hours.
But for some reason, I start off wanting to eat healthy. Like my breakfast cravings, I don't like go for like pancakes and waffles and bake. Like I'm very fine to get like an egg, couple eggs, some greens. You know, I don't have the big breakfast cravings, like the big brunch stuff. Yeah. But as the day goes on, the more I want to eat shit.
Oh, okay.
Which it should be reversed, is what you're saying. Like you should load up at breakfast and then get healthier until you go to bed. That's hard though.
Breakfast is the one meal like I have a reputation for eating a lot and eating a lot of garbage. But breakfast is the one meal.
I have a reputation. Everywhere I go, they go, oh, like you're a gunfighter walking into a town. Here comes the guy who eats a lot of shit.
That's actually true. Yes, that is.
Hide your tacos.
Hide your tacos.
Beaners in town. All right, sorry.
Hide your kids' fruit snacks. No, but I breakfast. I will, people say, oh, my eyes were bigger than my stomach. And I'm always like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Breakfast, if I like load up, that's a meal that is sometimes I can't finish.
Yeah.
And there must be a scientific reason. Maybe it's because, I just woke up and my stomach is small. I haven't stretched it out yet. I don't know.
Because I always like, like the dream of losing weight on one of those trick diets. The best one was the intermittent fasting. Like I feel like it's like all a scam, but like to me that was the one that sounded the most like, oh my god, I would totally do that. Just not
sounded the most legit.
Yeah, well, I know it does not sound legit to me. I do not think it works, but like I'm like it sounded the most doable for my lifestyle. I was like, I could just like wait till noon and then pig out. Like yeah, that'd be no problem for me at all.
That's most days.
There's just no way that works. But
is it health? I mean, they say, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Is that true scientifically?
I don't know.
Of all the people
asking the wrong guy.
Know. I know. I'll ask my podcast partner.
Yeah, and then I'll ask the one guy I know who probably won't even just look it up for me. Even the average person would just pull out their phone and Google it. But I'll ask the one guy I know who's too lazy even to do that.
You know what's sad is sometimes if I like haven't ate and I'm like driving in the morning or whatever, and I'm like, oh man, I didn't have time for breakfast. I'll be like, well, I gotta get something. I'll just stop at this Quick Trip and get 2 donuts that have cream frosting in the middle. Because I read that you don't want to skip breakfast.
It's the most important meal of the day. No, I was gonna say that sounds made up. Like, there's no way there's like that's scientifically true. That sounds like something like Big Cereal got together and paid off a few white coats to sell
Yeah.
their souls, and
Big Lucky Charm.
big charms,
No.
big flakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? They flip flop. Eggs. I think eggs are now permanently good for you again. Most people seem to agree. Eggs are good
Oh,
for
were
you.
they not? Oh, you weren't. Yeah, you weren't
Yeah,
supposed to
there's
eat
a
like the yellow
time.
part or the yolk.
Yeah, high cholesterol or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm on eggs. If eggs are bad for you, I'm fucked. I eat a lot of eggs.
You do?
Yeah. And you know what else?
I think
If
they're good for you.
have you seen those do you know those, maybe you get them for your kids, but the frozen waffles that have protein in them, they're like Kodiak waffles,
Oh,
or
that you
like,
make yourself, like the
no, well, they
Kodiak
have, yeah,
box.
they have the kind that you make yourself, but they also have the pre-made kind
Oh,
frozen,
okay.
which is
No,
what
I've
we
had the
get.
I've had the kind we make yourself, but not the Kodiak kind that you buy
Well,
pre-made.
it's great because they're like, Ginger loves them. They have blueberry ones, and they're supposed to have like a bunch of protein in them. I was just thinking the other day, because it's like all she'll eat now. I'm
Yeah.
like, if there's not actually protein in these, she's in big trouble. It's how she's getting like 90% of her protein.
Doesn't it say? Shouldn't it say on the box? Doesn't it
Yeah,
just?
but they can say whatever they want on those boxes.
Yeah. I mean, they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to lie.
I
We should
know.
be able to
It's
trust the
just,
nutritional
it is
facts.
hard for me. Taste these waffles. It's just very hard for me to believe that they're
That's
packed with
that's so
protein.
funny. Maybe I suck at making them because like those Kodiak, when you make the kind, it's just like a box of powder. They taste so bland and
Oh,
flavorless. Like maybe there's no sugar in them or something if you get the mix.
yeah. You probably have to add it. Maybe, I don't know.
Mm,
I like the frozen ones are great. Well, and then I put like butter and syrup on them. It's like, it's hard to go
well,
wrong
sure.
at that point.
Yeah, you gotta.
You gotta.
We're big oatmeal. That's a big oatmeal. Like when I'm getting the kids ready for school and stuff. It's a easy. You just
With the
boil
individual
water and that's it.
packets, or do you make like a
Well,
big
we used to.
of a?
Yeah, she got a couple boxes of the individual packets, and that's like super easy. But I'll just boil water and then pour the. We'll get the steel cut oats, whatever, and dump them in.
Do you have to
Yeah.
doctor it up with a bunch of stuff though? Like, they don't eat just straight up oats.
Syrup. Yes, just syrup. We just add
Syrup,
syrup. That gives
syrup
it
and
a
oats.
sweetness. Yep,
You're raising some horses.
that's right.
Here's a
That's
giant carrot with the leaf still on it,
right.
and a sugar cube. Have fun at school.
That's right. Ugh. So where
Uh
were you? You just got back. You just got
oh
home.
yeah, so we went to Seattle. I had a gig in Bellingham, Washington, but we really went up to Seattle to celebrate. It was my daughter's birthday on Saturday, and so we went up for like a late birthday party, Thanksgiving, and Christmas all rolled into one. So we
Oh,
really, which is like a great way to do it, because we did all the things. Like, we had birthday cake, we had pumpkin pie, we had like a big turkey, we had pizza for the birthday part. Like, so we did like multiple just giant eating things. But then you're too full to ever go like so crazy on leftovers. Like, you're not finishing any of the, like, the Christmas cookies or whatever.
yeah.
So like, I feel like, yeah, as far as like a, better to just jam all that holiday stuff into like 3 days than like spread it out over a month and a half. But it was fun. I'm very full now. I just ate more turkey that we brought home. And
Ah.
oh my god, though, the presents. Ginger got because she got her birthday and Christmas presents at the same time. We're doing Christmas now because we got to go to Boston for my brother's wedding on New Year's Eve. So
Oh, okay.
nobody wants to get together right before that.
Did you complain to him and tell him, "Hey, look, that's kind of a big money night for me."
No,
So,
I haven't said that yet, but it's the second time in my career someone's, like, a close person to me has had their wedding on New Year's Eve. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding.
it cost and big
Yeah.
cashola.
But I'm not gonna bring it up in the toast.
You'll wait till you're drunk at the
I'm not
reception.
gonna I'm not gonna pass the hat around. Do 10 minutes of a best man speech and work in material and go, hey,
Yeah.
usually a big money night. But yeah, so that it was good. Tons of just too many presents that like she's like 2 years old, and you're like, you open
Yeah.
a thing and it's like the greatest thing she's ever seen. It's like a Eeyore doll, right?
Yeah.
She loves Winnie the Pooh. And then you're like, okay, okay, now the next one, and there's like 10 more of these coming, you know, and
Yeah.
she has no way to just move on to that. She's like, what about the greatest thing I just have ever seen? Well, can I just play with that for the
Yeah,
next like
that's what's
three
so
days
sad. Yeah, is it's like all you need is the one thing, and she'd be
No,
happier than most kids older. You
no,
know.
you're like, nah, get rid of that now, move on, next thing. It's about how much you get.
Yeah.
So but my, it's crazy. Also, my brother who's getting married, also he sends this fairy tent for her birthday. Now, it's not like just some small thing that pops up. It like literally has like 50 poles and instructions.
Is it for your backyard or for her
No,
bed?
it's an indoor tent, but it's the size of a tent that maybe you would put up in your back. So it's useless
Ah.
outside, but also it takes up my entire living room. And we try to stash it in the guest room. It's like it doesn't even fit through the hallways. And you got to put it together with all the poles, and there's lights. Doesn't come with batteries. It was a complete nightmare. So he screwed me again.
We had one of those. We had it was like a Ninja Turtle bus tent made it
Yeah,
with this, like all those tent poles in it, and that was in L.A. It was like, oh, I guess this is half of our apartment now.
I know. I'm like, I guess we'll put it into the basement, but I'm like, once we put it in the basement, it's never gonna because it doesn't fit. You have to like kind of break it down to get it down there.
Yeah.
So like, it's never like, let's be honest, it's never coming back up once it goes down.
Yeah.
So anyway, but so it's been a lot of celebrating, and yeah, so it's good, but that's
Well,
over
good.
now.
Good.
Back to the miserable existence of her normal everyday life.
Oh, oh my gosh.
How was your weekend week?
Good. What did I have? I had nothing one of the nights, and then I had a private corporate gig that I did with another comic, and that was fun. And they tipped us. That's always nice.
Oh yeah, on the
Well, what
check or
percentage
just
would you
like
say? No,
cash?
no, the cash, because I got paid separate. Oh my gosh, I haven't gotten paid yet. I just realized that I haven't gotten paid yet. I got an envelope. The cash. Oh, I was so glad we talked about this. I got to write that down. Holy cow!
That's so maybe that was their move. They're like, hey, I know how to trick this big dumb hick.
This big tall
Hey,
moron.
here's $50 cash, buddy. Like, wow. And then you just go home and
Wowee!
you forget about your entire check.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I gotta reach out about that. Jesus. But it was a fun gig. It was good. It was
Who was the other comedian?
Chastity Washington.
I don't know.
She's
Were you splitting it, or is it an opener, closer?
yeah. We just split. Yeah, we just split the time. They wanted. Yeah, they wanted an hour, but they wanted two comics, so they got us. It was good.
Good. Yeah, I love getting a little bonus. Very. It's why don't people tip comedians regularly? You
I
tip
don't
a
know. Like
valet, you tip a barber. Why not a comedian?
I was gonna ask you, what percentage of private gigs do you think? Because I mean, I feel like I used to get
Almost
tipped on private
never.
gigs more, but yeah,
No,
maybe
I
it's
mean,
with gig masters. A lot of the gig masters ones, they're just like, it's already taken care of online through that. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of times, like, if it's, I feel like if it's one guy, it's like his party or something.
mhm.
Then he'll tip, if he's a big shot, and then he'll throw in some extra or something. Especially if the show goes good.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess,
yeah.
or like I did one actually. I did one in the Tri Cities, Washington, and it was like for a small kind of like financial services company or something, and they had all their clients there, and I think I talked. So the theme was money, So I was joking about money a lot.
Yeah.
I think I might have painted too, uh, like too sad of a picture of my life because they
They
did
give you a
tax.
big tip?
They gave me a big tip, and they're like, "This is for gas money and all this stuff getting home." And I'm like, "What?" Like I'm gonna
That's
make
just for
it.
your sad life you were talking about.
I know.
Hopefully you can make it better.
You really have to walk a fine line because you don't want them to think you're a charity case either. But
Oh man.
yeah, it's nice, little something extra around the holidays. Why not?
Yeah, I've got let's see. I've got New Year's at the club, and then the following week at the Laughing Tap in Milwaukee. But other than that, like most weekends are. I mean, this time of the year, it's a lot of private
Yeah,
gigs, which is nice for you know financially, but they're not as. I'm nervous. I'm doing this one in Dickinson. It's a private one this weekend, and it's an hour, squeaky clean, and it's fine, but like it's been a while since I've had to do 60
hard clean.
squeaky without. I mean, yeah, without if it's like online, I can have a little cheat notebook, or if it's a little under, you can have something. Or at a club, sometimes you can have but like, so that my travel day is going to be some studying.
Just bring the Batman costume.
I should. Yeah, I'll just have my change. I'll do that. I'll count the time I change as
Takes
just the
like
time.
15 minutes to get in and out of it. Or do whatever, you'll be fine. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it'll come back. Have you ever had that though, where you're doing a bit you haven't done in a long time, and you're like either in the middle of it, and you're just like you just literally blank,
Yes, that
and
happened to
you
me
just have to
recently.
be like, I don't know what's
I
next.
have two different lost pet jokes. These are both old
Oh,
jokes, and I have one about lost dogs and the reward money. And so I was doing this and then I have one about a lost parrot because it was like when
mm-hmm.
I lived in Little Armenia in LA, I'd see these lost parrot posters.
Yeah,
And so I was on one of those ships, and it was like, by the end of the week, I was like, man, I'm so sick of these jokes I've been telling, and I think people are back, and they've been back like 2-3 times. Like I'm trying to do different stuff, and I can't keep
yeah,
track. And I was like, oh, I'll do like some really old, So I did this lost parrot joke, but I kind of got it confused with the lost dog joke. And then I was like halfway through, and I had to tell him like, guys, you know what? I honestly do not know how this joke ends. And I try to just be in the moment and go, what is funny about that? Like, what is, And I was like, I don't know. I honestly, and
and
then
it
of
didn't
course,
work.
people laughed at my pathetic flailing on stage,
Right.
but I never got to the punchline, which was so the bit is, let's see if I can do it now. It's like, reward lost parrot. It was a reward for $1,000.
Hmm.
Oh, and this is so it's like, I don't think that's someone who loves their pet. I think that's a parrot who knows too much.
Oh yeah,
And the
I've
parrot's,
heard you do that
yeah, yeah,
bit.
yeah. The parrot's
Yeah.
gonna talk. And then I have something about like the FBI. I don't remember what.
Have
So
you
I
ever had it?
couldn't get to
Oh,
that.
okay. So did you? So how did it? You
So
just
I just failed. So I just was like, move on to the next job. I was like, I don't know the end of this, and we moved on. And so I don't. That's probably not inspiring to you because that's a way that it could go back. But they didn't care. I mean, they thought it was funny that I you know, forgot the joke.
do you have any like phrases that like I'll have a phrase like even if it's very small, but it's just a certain 3 or 4 words that are the same in two. Not even punchline, but just like in the
Oh yeah, I
setup.
know what you
And you
mean.
start a joke and you're
Yes.
not paying attention or you're trying to think about your time and you realize I'm I
In the
just did a figure eight. I'm on the wrong
Yes.
joke.
Yes.
Oh, that's the worst.
And it's very difficult to get yourself back.
And you can't explain it, so it's just like a clunky, like, well, never mind about him. So anyway, my cat, and you're just like,
Right,
oh,
right,
what do
right,
you
right,
talk
right.
about his
I'm trying
friends
to
for?
think. I think I've done that recently too, but it's usually small, very small enough to where I don't think someone would notice. But I
Yeah.
hate when I catch myself doing it because it does mean you are on absolute autopilot.
Right. Yes.
You are not. That is
You
mailing
are
it
not
in
present.
right there. Not thinking about what you're saying at all.
Yeah. Yeah, because it makes no sense.
But you know what's sad is when you um because sometimes I'll think like, nah, man, I don't want to do like you just get sick of your act, you get sick of your jokes, and so you're like,
Mm.
I don't want to do these same old jokes, and so you're like, I'm just gonna be real, and this just happened to me. It just happened
Mhm.
yesterday, and I'm just gonna talk about it and make it funny, or like talk about the room or talk about the
Yeah.
city or whatever. And you just nothing's really landing, and everybody seems like I thought this was like the headliner. What is going on? Why are they?
Right.
Is this just a guy? This like was he? Did he win a contest and get to go on stage tonight on a Saturday
Yeah.
night? And then you're like, ah, fine. And then you just go into your act, and then you're thinking about your parking spot and which pint of Ben and Jerry's you're gonna crush that night, and you're
Yeah.
just sort of robotically saying your act, and you start crushing, and it's
Right.
so you're like, that's not the way it's supposed. That's not the way they would
It's
teach you in the movie that it works. Like the guy
yeah.
who's doing his old act is kind of like, but then once he just starts talking as himself, oh, and all the lights come
Right.
on and the music
That's when the
swells.
agent. Yeah, that's when the agent's like, "Hey,
Yeah,
I like that.
that's why there's
You're
agents in the
real,
back.
man."
Who's this guy? Like taking their sunglasses off and frantically calling on their cell phones. And you got to hear this.
You know that sound you were looking for?
But that's not. It's the It's totally the opposite. Crowds reward
Yeah.
the safety.
They reward tested, stale material.
Absolutely,
Oh my gosh.
for better or worse.
Oh. Hey, so okay, change of gears. Have you seen have you noticed on social media everyone posting their AI generated
Okay,
photos?
you might be ahead of me on this because I was just today trying to figure out what people. I noticed like everyone's talking about AI this and AI that, like more than normal. And
Yeah.
then I started seeing those pictures.
Yep.
And so, yes, I know what you're talking about, but I'm like very, very late to this, I think.
Well, I am too. I mean, I've been seeing it and I just did it last night.
Wait, do you have to pay for it?
That's now that's the thing. I went to a Badgers basketball game last night and there was beers and there was shots. So I was a little loose with the billfold when it came time at the App Store last night. I did it at like 1 in the morning while I was in bed because you load picture, you download an app. That's the thing is everyone posts these like here's my AI, and I was like, what? How are you doing that? Like no one is saying here's the app. I
Right.
use the app, so I just did the App Store and did a search for AI art or AI whatever it was, and there's a million of them. So I just picked the top one, downloaded it for free, and then everything's free, and then they're like, oh, you have to load just from your camera roll 10 to 20 pictures of yourself with no other people in it, and then right at the end when it's like, all right, yeah, generate my cool reel of all these sweet photos, it's you have to pay like $10. And normally I would have been like, fuck you, I fucking hate
Yeah.
this shit, but I was like, okay, I want to see these, so I just did it, and then I got them. And but I'm not. I mean, I just wanted to see. I'm a vain person. I like looking at pictures of myself. I don't need. I personally don't need to put them on social media. Nobody cares
No, I come
about.
on. Well, I want to see. I would want to see them.
Well,
Put
then
them
I'll
on
share with
social
you. But like,
media.
I'm
Put
not
them on
gonna
the
put them on social media.
Patreon.
Okay, I'll do that.
How many of
I'll
them
make
are
our.
of your balls?
They're
We'll
not of
put
my
those on the
balls.
Patreon. All right, fine.
But here's the thing. So it takes like an hour and a half. So I just I was kind of drunk and I was like, oh, okay. So I just plugged in my phone and went to sleep. And then in the morning, I'm looking at them, and while Erin's getting ready for work, I showed her my phone, and she was like, "Ooh la la." You're gonna have to send some of those to me for alone time, or we're just making some joke because
Wow.
they're like, but it's like insulting because it's like these photos. It's this photo they you know they make you look fucking. Look at this. This doesn't even look like me. This is one of them.
Oh, wow. I
It's
mean,
like,
I mean,
here's what you would look like if you were a sexy movie star.
but it has enough of you in it where you could look like that. You could just get your hair done like that and get like your beard trimmed up that way, and you could look like that.
I could not look.
You totally could look like that.
I think there must be something. This camera, me showing you over Zoom, is not doing justice.
No. I mean, so I saw Conan post some, and
Okay.
that's when I first saw it. And then his the same thing. He looked like this like galactic hero or something
Yeah.
in a sci-fi movie. But the looks enough like the person. So the trick
I mean,
must
some do. Some look like, oh, that really looks like me, but kind of a cool. But then some are like, something got
so
missed.
the idea is like like I don't understand why it's AI. I guess the AI is just like an art like
Because none of the photos I submitted are
of
these. My
those.
hair's never
Yeah.
like that. It must calculate, okay, with all the different angles, because you have to submit between 10 and 20. With all those, they kind of calculate the measurements of your face, and they can like create your actual self in other poses that you didn't submit.
Uh okay, but do you subscribe to the conspiracy theory that they're like just trying to get your face so that they can
Sure. I mean, I don't know if I just subscribe or not, but that's not a fear. I don't care. I mean, I'm only going to be around for what, you know, however many more
12 more
years. What are they
years or
going to?
whatever?
Yeah, 12. Yeah, if I keep eating those every night.
No,
But
but like no, I'm with you too. Like I've so little I probably it was like probably 10 years ago where I just sort of surrendered to the idea of like privacy. It's like, what, they got me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I
yeah.
literally use my face to open my phone now.
Mm-hmm.
They have it. They have my
Well, it was that
stupid.
aging. It was that aging app when you could take pictures and it'll show
Yes.
you. That's when everyone was like, "That's
And I didn't do
China
that one. I stayed
stealing."
off that one. But the phone face thing, I wasn't gonna pass that up. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's too convenient. Um, well, that's
Would you
interesting.
do it? Would you pay $10 to see those
No,
photos of you?
no, I wouldn't pay $10. But
Well, see, now
maybe if I was
I
drunk.
would give you $10 so I could see those fixed photos of you
Oh, well, give me
and
ten.
to see your reaction
Give me ten
to your
dollars.
photos.
Well, I saw some. So then I saw the Conan ones, and he looked like you did, where you just look way better. Could you choose anything about how you wanted to look? Because I saw some comedians post ones where they looked horrible, like they
Well,
intentionally looked
yeah, because
bad.
they give you. I mean, you submit the photos and then you get a roll of, I think you get 112 photos, but no one's posting all 12. 112. Some of them are just like off,
I
and so
see.
they're probably some of them are not great.
Choosing the least flattering
Yeah,
ones, and I see. Okay. Yeah, well, it's interesting. AI.
yeah.
I read something where AI is going to be so good, it's going to change everything. That where chess players are going to have to play naked against each other because the AI can pick up, like, if you're wearing some sort of bio, something, it can read your next move or something.
So you have to play
I
chess.
cannot
This sounds like
explain
the
to
setup to a joke.
I cannot explain to you. I did not read it with enough retention to remember why
I
playing
feel like if they
naked.
were naked, that would give the computer a strong advantage.
I cannot remember why playing naked gives you a chance against the computer.
You're going to
Honestly.
distract the computer. It's going to keep looking at your dick, and you're going to.
there, there was something in there. Maybe it's like I honestly don't know. But you're gonna have to play chess naked in the future. All right, just get ready for that, and just
All
trust
right.
me that that's happening.
Well, am I going to have to play chess at all in the future? Because I play about zero now.
Well, no, but if you want to get into it, you're gonna have to be naked. That's all I know. AI. They
AI,
well,
baby.
that's where like I do think so. They've also got AI things that can write answers to questions. So they did one where it was like, how like Republican senators get asked about Trump all the time and then they
Mhm.
never know what to say. They're like, oh, well, I haven't seen that, or I don't pay attention to Twitter or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So they asked a bot or like an AI thing what like the latest Trump controversy, like, what do you think about this? And it wrote like a pretty great answer for like a Republican senator. Honestly, it was like if I heard someone say that, I go, man, that's a great answer to get out of that answering that question in a
Oh.
damaging way.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that with comedy, and I'm like, yeah, we will be like, you really probably could replace comedians with like AI robots because it is such a
This is formulaic.
it's very formulaic, and it's very sort of like, as much as we come at it artistically,
Mm-hmm.
like the art gets in the way of the bigger laughs like 9 times out of 10. Like our preferential references or the things that we like about the joke are usually the things that, like, if you would just edit it out and go with
Yeah,
the
it'd be
like
tighter.
crowd sourced response,
Yeah.
you would do better. Like, I
Yeah.
have a bit, okay, for instance, I have a bit about the dentist, and the joke is that when I was a kid, they had the no cavities club, and so to encourage little kids to brush and floss their teeth, if you never had a cavity, you know, you got to be in the no cavities club. But if you ever got a cavity, you were out. Like, they would take your picture
Forever.
off the wall forever. You couldn't get back in, right? It's like, but the joke is like, no other medical professional could get away with behavior like
Yeah.
this. It's not like, hey, we got your test results back and you're out of the no diabetes club, right? Which always does okay. But then
Right.
there's usually enough fatties in the crowd that have that have diabetes, where they're like, that's not funny. I have diabetes.
Yeah.
So one time, a comic, this guy named Jeremiah Coughlin, he's a funny guy here in Portland. He came after me after a helium mic when I was working the bit out.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey, you should change it to like an STD or something. Like, that would get a bigger laugh." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." But I was like, "I don't want to do that." I was like, "That's stupid." And just finally, like, I've probably been doing that joke months now, maybe, I don't know, for a while. Did you ever
Well,
see me
one.
cut on a Zoom?
Uh,
Maybe, I don't know, but
maybe you've told it to me. Maybe I saw it on the Zoom.
over
Well, but
six
real quick
months.
before you say, is the reason you didn't want to do that because you were like, it's low hanging fruit, or like
Yeah,
that's
exactly. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's kind of like your first instinct or your
right,
first. So I was like, diabetes is better because to
wittier.
me it's funnier. It's a little darker. I don't know why. It just was like
Yeah.
it's funny to me, a doctor saying that. I don't know why, but that's the one I
Right.
picked. Could have been any disease.
Yeah.
Can't say like AIDS or something, or cancer, whatever. So I forget where I was, but it was very recently, and I used chlamydia.
Uh huh. They're carrying you out of the room.
Standing ovation. And I was like, God damn it.
Oh man.
And that's where the AI just would have landed on chlamydia right away. You know what I mean? The little robot would have written that perfectly.
Yep.
And they'll have
Uh,
holograms and stuff.
yeah. Oh boy. How
So
long? How long do
get
you think we have?
12 years. you'll, you'll just
Uh,
have died.
yeah. I'll have just keeled over for my
I'll
last
I'll
pint.
make I'll make all your corporate gigs. I'll do a hologram of you and just do AI versions of just give me the rights right now. Give me like 50%. 50% will go to your family.
Of my
50% to me.
material?
No, of the proceeds that I'm going to make booking your hologram
Oh,
posthumously
okay.
at corporate gigs.
Sure.
And I'll use AI to write like what's this gig for in Dickinson? Like what kind of company?
Oil.
Oil. Oh, easy.
Oil.
Yep, I'll do a bunch of oil. Plug that into the AI comedy generator. Squeaky,
Don't they do
clean
that on The
oil.
Simpsons?
Squeaky oil. You need some oil for your squeaky clean jokes. Perfect.
Perfect. You're good. You're good in a crunch. You were good at cranking out those Batman jokes. I was backstage.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I got two more. I got two more.
Oh, that was like the most fun I've had in comedy in 5 years. Was writing stand-up Batman jokes. But that's another one where a computer would probably do a much better job.
What was the one? Who was this woman? She said she was Catwoman. Turns out she was just a cat lady, and I got nothing. And I go, fuck you. I loved it.
I like the angle. The angle I like is of Batman as kind of a bitter Bill Maher, politically incorrect, like you can't say anything anymore comic.
Like
You know,
complaining that you can't say
yeah,
anything.
like he'd kind of he's the game's passed him by a little bit. He's pissed off that his homophobic stuff doesn't work anymore, and anyway.
Oh, I can't say that anymore.
Guess I can't call Robin gay anymore. That's not funny.
Yeah, so I guess you aren't gonna buy my merch that says I'm not gay, but my partner is.
Oh man. All right. Should we get to topics?
Let's get to topics. Let's get to the topics. Do you want me to go first?
I want you to go first.
Okay, then you'll probably be going in
Because
about
you
90 seconds.
You teased a very, very stupid topic to me. So
Well,
I want to hear yours first.
Maybe we can talk more about it, or you'll have a unique angle on it. But
Let's put it into the AI topic generator.
all right, you know, you build furniture.
It's
Like you're building furniture.
Back up.
Like from not
We
like IKEA. You know, when you're putting together a dresser.
Yeah.
And they always give you the mounting it to the wall anti-tipping device thing.
Oh yeah. Never once.
Those all are in my garbage can. I don't know what I was trying to think of the angle, like, oh, they're just trying to, they don't benefit from, they're just trying to not get sued. But man, I'm not gonna damage my wall. What if I move the dresser? Or what if I move the bookshelf?
You just unscrew it.
Well, I know, yeah, but then you got to stick toothpaste in the hole to, fill it up or whatever. Or get caulk.
Yeah, toothpaste.
I mean, you don't do it. Well, that's what you do when you move out when you're renting. But I mean, like, do you use those anti-tipping things?
Well, I will say, so you've never used them even on your first kid? You didn't? Because I was pretty paranoid with the first.
No, yeah, yes.
So I did
one.
use them in her room for like when we bought her changing table dresser thing and a bookshelf. And actually we put them on Heidi and I's dressers because they're pretty tall. And I will see, I want to back you.
Sounds like you're not backing me up at all.
Well,
you're just listing all your furniture.
It's Heidi's fault too, because she did that when she was a kid. She climbed up on a dresser and it tipped over on her. I think she was fine, but that was part of the.
Well, that's how she learned not to do it.
Oh yeah, good point. You know what, Johnny? You've inspired me to go upstairs after this podcast and remove all of the anti-tipping safety devices from our furniture.
Well, yes,
needs to learn.
This is interesting because you still have a young one, and when Edie never pulled any TV on herself, I was like, wow. If Edie didn't do it, why would
Well,
the
even
other?
your TVs. So I've been to your house. Your house is very nice and
Well,
put
TVs are
together.
TV's a
Your
bad
TVs are
example. I'm
probably
talking about bookshelves.
mounted
Yeah, they are.
on the wall. So that's not like our TV is like on a old fashioned plastic stand that it would come with, and it's heavy. It's like kind of like an
Yeah.
older TV. So we really did have to. I had to buy like a kit to secure that to the wall because that, and it's on a flimsy sort of stand, like a on wooden stand too. So it's like that would be easy to pull down.
I feel like
Again, I'm not
I
backing you
feel
up.
like putting a. I feel like replacing the flimsy thing you have it balancing on is a better move
But
than
we
buying a kit.
we like the look of the flimsy thing. We like
Okay.
the wooden touch. No, I would like, man, I would love a new TV and just like a big ass, good quality TV that's mounted on the wall and like clean up all the wires under. That's
Yeah.
my dream. But this TV still works. It's just like, what do you do?
I'll tell you what you do. Well, you missed it, but Cyber Monday, the
Uh,
Monday after Black Friday. Ooh, so many sales.
I know, but I need someone to break this one. I need to have your kids come over and throw like a
A controller
truck
at
at
it.
it. Yeah, a controller.
Eh.
But yeah, no, I'll back you up in that. They gotta learn a lot. And I mean, are you really gonna die? You
Well,
know,
okay.
what are the
My
odds that you're
room.
gonna die?
I put together a nightstand. I had a nightstand. It's right there. Now I'm in the basement because
Yeah.
Aaron wanted me to switch it out to get a dresser, like a 3 drawer dresser. It's next to my bed. That's what the nightstand is. I'm not, if my kids, they shouldn't be in there. They shouldn't be in there.
I keep my throwing stars in there. I keep my
Yeah,
samurai swords. I keep
that's
my
right.
dynamite. You should not be in this room.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you, okay, just on this subject of like how safe you should keep your kids or whatever. So again, we're going to this wedding and the first night, so we have to get a babysitter and like a babysitter because we're bringing my daughter. My daughter's in the wedding. She's a flower girl, but we don't want to be, go to bed when she goes to bed.
Yeah.
So we want to party, So we were going to get a babysitter, but it's costing us a fortune because it's like New Year's Eve and we
Oh,
wanted somebody like we could trust, and
yeah.
anyway, so we think my friend Nick who lives out there kind of connected us with someone, but it's very expensive. So we're like, you know what? We don't need one for the rehearsal dinner because the rehearsal dinner is in the hotel that we're staying at, in the conference room lobby or the restaurant lobby area of the hotel. So
Yeah.
like we can just put the monitor, like put her to bed upstairs in the room and then go back down and we'll have the monitor with us and everything. And we've gotten negative pushback to that. It's like, well, what if there's a fire? And I'm like, you think there's going to be a fire in that room? And then the fire alarm will go off and I won't go, you know what I mean? Like just the
Yeah.
odds, like you have the monitor. It's like if you drive on the highway with your kid, that is like the least safe thing you can do. But you're going to be on 2 stories underneath them. Like, oh no, what could, you know what I mean? While they're asleep.
Yeah. That's a
Did you
good.
guys ever do that? Did you ever go down to the lobby to like have a drink while your kids were sleeping?
Uh, no, but you know what we've done is we've gone to the neighbor, not the next door, like we've gone to the street behind our house.
Yeah.
That's where we have some friends, and we've been there, and we had. I think I put the iPad. I'll put the iPad in her room.
Yeah.
And FaceTimed myself, so it's basically like
Yeah. You got a video surveillance
monitor.
system and you're like
Yeah.
2 minutes away.
Yep.
That's the
Yeah.
same
So if
thing.
something happened, I could run over there. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll
But
back that up.
we've received negative pushback. And then Heidi was like, too, she's like, I'm fine with it, honest. And my mom was a little like,
Oh yeah. No, well, that's the you don't tell it when you do these
you just
things.
can't
You don't
tell anybody.
tell anyone. You don't tell anyone.
But the problem is they're all going to ask, where's your daughter? What do you do? What'd you do with your kid? Oh, She's fine. Don't ask about that.
Yeah, that's none of your
We've taken
goddamn business. That's rude of you to ask.
as
My
I'm holding the phone up to my ear.
as you're looking at it. Oh, that reminds me. So
That's smoke.
this is a new bit that I started doing. Um, maybe I told you. I don't think I did, but where I'll play a voicemail because we I told you about how we turned the lock around on
No. Wait, what?
Phoebe's. Phoebe would get out of bed and come into our room all the time. And Aaron was like, just turn the door, take off the doorknob and turn it around so you could lock it from the outside. And so you lock it and she can't get out. She's on the inside. She's in the room instead of the other way around.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that seems a little not safe. And then I took her to a doctor's appointment, was telling her about how she's sleeping. And the pediatrician said the same thing, like, oh, well, have you tried turning the lock around on the doorknob? And I was like, if we got the green light from our pediatrician,
sure, yeah,
then we can do it. So we did it. And so I talk about that, but like, and I've told it a couple times on stage, and I'll get like, there's just a feeling of like, is this guy telling us that he puts his daughter in a cage? Is that basically, it's the feeling in the room. But I have to tell a story because I want to play this for you. This is and I'll play this voicemail into the microphone because I think it's funny. So I'll play it for the podcast.
Johnny, I am stuck in Phoebe's room, and I am trying to get this door open. She locked us both in here, and now this. Oh my God! We have an appointment at the pharmacy, and now this bobby pin is stuck in the door, and I don't know what to do. We are both locked in here.
And then I make a joke about, like, well, they're probably still in there or whatever,
right.
But like, it's just so funny because like, when I was growing up, you lock the door. If you don't lock it when it's shut, it'll unlock when you close the door. But in this house, you can lock an open door, close it, and it stays locked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've gotten locked into that room a lot. Like, so I have to keep bobby pins above the door frame on the inside of her room in case that happens.
All this just to lock your own child in.
It's from a long time ago. I've just been too lazy to turn it back around. She's got like a raised bed, like a house. It's like a queen princess castle, and the bed's on top, so she can't even get out of her bed anymore. So it's not even an issue now. She's just stuck on the top.
We just made the cage smaller to solve.
We raised the cage up, so she's too scared to get out.
Yeah. We used her fear. We dug a moat and filled it with snakes. We played off that
because we felt bad about the doorknobs.
Yeah,
so.
we didn't want to lock our own child in her room.
Yeah, so
that sounds like a disaster. If it were me, so wait, how did she get out of the what was the resolution?
I don't know. I mean, in reality, I don't know. I was at a gig or something. I don't what the hell am I supposed to do?
Right.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
I'm gonna talk you through this. Now, do you have
snacks? Read the million of books that are in there. It's funny though that someone pointed out is that in that it was her idea.
Yeah.
And then it was the pediatrician. Does it not sound like she's yelling at me?
Yes.
I get a call like it's my fault. She's locked in there.
Well, I think she sounds like exasperated probably by the situation, and then it's just coming through to you. But yeah, it does sound like, you idiot, you locked me in here.
Yeah, like why did you lock us in here? But I think in reality, I mean, she figured it out with the bobby pin. I think after this, she didn't even miss the appointment.
So I would probably kick the door down.
Yeah, you'd probably be able to.
That is hilarious. But I get okay. So that's not a hazard though. So everyone agrees. There's the pediatrician, everyone. That's not a fire hazard or anything.
I mean, it is. That's if there was a fire.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
But I mean, that's the thing. We don't do that and go shopping. We are next door to her, so if there's a fire, we would go
but I mean, like
her.
if there was a fire and then Aaron, I mean, you guys were trapped in there, and you're like furiously working a bobby pin as the fire.
Oh well, then we'd kick the door. If there was a fire, we'd fucking kick the door out.
I know, but that's why they have like fire codes about all sorts of like don't block your door with a bookcase or something.
Yeah.
You know? I don't
Yeah.
know. You know, I think it's fine. I think it's just fine. Like you said,
Right.
they'll survive. Everyone's fine.
Yeah.
There's not that many fires, you know? That's the
Right.
other thing. Everybody's like, if there's a fire,
Depends who
how
you
many
ask.
times there's actually a fire, you know?
Yeah. I don't know the statistics on that.
No, look it up right now. I want to know.
I'll Google it. I'll
Is
Google it while you
breakfast-
tell me your topic.
Is breakfast the most important meal of the day? Okay. Let me.
We talk about these things like, oh, we'll never know. We're both sitting at computers, but neither of us wants to Google it.
All right. This is a kind of a quick one too, but I don't like. Here's what I need backup on. You never have to tell people how long they should or have to go on vacation. So like, do you ever like if you're ever in a conversation, you're like, oh yeah, we went to London last year, and then they always doesn't matter how long you say you went. Oh, you need to at least 3 weeks. At least 3 weeks. And it's like, well, I only went for a week, and you want to know why? Because I'm not loaded.
Right.
Yeah, if I was rich, you know, and I didn't have any commitments back home, I might have gone for 6 weeks. Who knows? I might have just gone for an entire summer.
Yeah.
But you know, there's restrictions on all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just no matter where. Oh, you went. Oh, you got at least. I mean, it's not even worth it to go.
You're a
for the
fool.
amount of time you went.
You're a fool for how long you went.
You're an idiot. You shouldn't have gone. Better you should die, never having seen London, than go for the length of time you went. That just happens to me no matter where. And a lot of times in comedy, that's how you see places, the world, you know, then you don't really get to choose how long you're there, or, you know.
Yep. Are you a big, I mean, not talking about like London, but like, you know, I don't know, some place you've never been in the United States. Are you, I'm going to see I'm going to get out and adventure. Or are you, I'm going to sit in my hotel and.
No, I'm an adventure guy. I like to get out. I get out. I go. I know we're different that way.
It's all right. We can celebrate our differences.
Well, we can celebrate our differences. I mostly because I like to say that I did it. I mean, I have a little bit of fascination by like, especially like if there's a history to it or something, or like, you know. But
because I do field a lot of. Well, what did you do? Why didn't you? Oh, you didn't go. Yeah, I was pretty tired. I had to get ready for my show.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's like sometimes it's a gig, even if it's 2 nights. So you spend the first day all day traveling to get there, then you do the show, so you don't see anything. Then you go to bed. The next morning, like, you know, some idiot wants to take you to lunch. You gotta try Zappies. Oh, Zappies. And then it's like a turkey sandwich with barbecue sauce on it. You're like, wow. Boy, I'm glad we went to Zappies. And then you like, you know, that's your day. And then you have to go do the show. Talk about Zappies. You know, these food recommendations are so bad. Like, it's like, honestly, that's, again, this is full circle. But AI, the Yelp, whatever the Yelp algorithm is to get the top places, like, I've never been steered wrong, honestly, by Yelp.
Oh, okay.
Just when you're in a place you've never been and you need a restaurant, if it's like got plenty of reviews, good reviews, and it's the type of food you like, it's just
you're solid.
Never gone. You're so solid. But if you're just going by the Uber driver or the person at the front desk, I can't tell you how many times I asked the person at the front, well, there was a Quiznos, but that burned down. And they just, nobody, you know, just use Yelp.
So
just
wait,
never
so it burned down, so it's not there?
So it's not? So are they open or not? There's also the people who tell you like how short you have to go on like that's usually for Vegas. That just occurred to me.
Oh,
They'll go like, oh, you
too
don't want to do
long.
more than
Yeah.
don't want to do more than 2 days in Vegas. Well, it's like, well, what if I just one of the nights don't do cocaine and
Right.
get fucked up? Would that extend? Could I extend the trip?
Yeah.
Everyone's
No, you
No,
got to do it
2
every night.
nights.
You got to get fucked up every night.
2 nights. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Cabo, 3 nights. Bali, a year minimum.
Save up, go for
Save
a
up,
year.
go for the year. Thank me later.
Yeah. Thank me when you get back.
Oh my gosh, I saw this movie. Heidi really wanted to see it. Something, maybe Ticket to Paradise or something. It's with Julia Roberts and George Clooney.
George
Like,
Clooney?
yeah,
I've seen the trailer.
very bad. Very
Oh, it looks terrible.
poorly written. The jokes don't land. They're like pretty, they're them, so it's like they're fine enough. But anytime it's not them on screen, it's excruciating. But
Heidi, what's
she loves romantic. It's more like the idea of a return to a type of movie they don't make anymore.
okay?
Like now, she doesn't get into Marvel or the sci-fi stuff,
Yeah.
so it's like she's really been left behind. Like
Yeah.
the classic, romantic comedies aren't really out there anymore. So she was desperate for something like this, and it didn't really deliver. But though they shoot it in you can tell why they made it. The whole thing films in Bali, so it's like, and you can tell they're actually there. The scenery is incredible, and so you're like, oh yeah, if I'm Julia Roberts and George Clooney, you're like, well shit, I'll take a few months with my family and go to Bali and make this crappy movie and get paid for it.
Isn't that like what Adam Sandler does? He
Yes,
writes-
everything's in Hawaii. He sets every movie in Hawaii. It's genius.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're backing me up.
Oh, totally, of course.
Well, buddy, did we miss anything?
No, we didn't. The only thing I have to plug is the same stuff I've plugged is New Year's at Grand Rapids and Dr. Grin's, and then the next weekend, the first weekend of January at Milwaukee at the Laughing Tap.
Do it. I'll be in. Nothing for me till next year. Bend, Oregon, January 21st, and then the Mike Drop Comedy Club in San Diego, February 17th and 18th. You gotta ways for that, but why not tell your friends to buy tickets for that? That's it.
All right.
Thank you for everybody for listening
to the Cavalry.